Hello everyone, I welcome you all to Civil's Mentorship. So in our last session, we had started solving the previous year questions from the logical reasoning part. And in that logical reasoning part also, so we have started working on this. We have started solving the PYQs from distance and direction topic. So as of now, we had solved 5 questions. So overall, as I mentioned in the last video, that there are total 15 questions that came from 2013 till 2025. And out of those 15 questions, we have solved 5 questions. So today we will be solving the remaining questions. So again, let's see the first question. So what the first question is saying, that a person X was driving in a place where all roads ran either north-south or east-west, forming a grid. Roads are at a distance of 1 kilometer from each other in a parallel. He started at the intersection of two roads, drove 3 kilometer north, 3 kilometer west and 4 kilometer south. Which further route could bring him back to his starting point if the same route is not repeated? So if you have seen that this particular question, it's a lengthy question, okay? But when we will be solving it, we will see that it's not that much tough. So what exactly the question is saying, that a person X was driving in a place where all roads ran either what? Now where all roads ran either north-south or east-west direction. So let's solve this particular question. So basically what they are saying, that first of all, there are two roads. One of them is running in the north-south direction and the other one is running in the east-west direction. So that means there are two roads, okay? So this is one road and this is the other road. Say for example, this is AB and this is CD, okay? So there are two roads. Now what else they are saying? They are saying that 1 kilometer each, okay? He started at the intersection of the two roads, okay? Drove 3 kilometer north, okay? So that means he started at the intersection of the two roads. So what is the which point is my intersection of the two roads? Now this particular point, let's assume that this point is point O. And now where he went? Now what they have said, that drove 3 kilometer north, okay, fine. So that means he went 3 kilometer north. So say for example, this is my 3 kilometer, okay? He went towards this particular direction. Next, what they are saying, that 3 kilometer, drove 3 kilometer north and then again 3 kilometer west and then 4 kilometer south. So that means he again went 3 kilometer west, that is this, and 4 kilometer south. So this means this is 4. Say for example, this is point E. Now what else they are saying? Which further route could bring him back to his starting point if the same route is not repeated, okay? So that means as per the question, this particular person needs to come to this particular point again, but he cannot come back in the same route. So what else, how he can come back? See, there are two roads only, right? One is this one, that is AB, and the other one is CD. So now he is at this particular point. So how can he come back to point O? So basically he can come in this particular direction. So this and this, okay? So then in this direction he can come back to the starting point. So what exactly they are asking now? They are asking that, what they are asking now? They are asking that which further route could bring him back to the starting point if the same route is not repeated, okay? So same route is not repeated. So which direction he went first? He went first 3 kilometer, because if this is 3, so that means this distance will also be 3. So he went 3 kilometer towards east, okay? Because this is my eastern direction. Now let's see, is there any option for 3 kilometer east? Okay, this option it might be, this option it might be. 1 kilometer north, we can ignore this option. 3 kilometers south, we can ignore this option as well. Now we are stuck with the first two options, that is 3 kilometer east and 3 kilometer east, that is option A and option B. Now what else? Where he went next? He is going in this particular direction. Now how much he has traveled? See, this entire thing is how much? This entire thing is 4 kilometer. Out of this 4 kilometer, if this is my 3 kilometer, then this will be my 1 kilometer. Now this particular line, if this is 1 kilometer, then this should also be 1 kilometer. So, and now in which direction he went? He went towards north direction by 1 kilometer. So that means my final answer will be 3 kilometer east and then not 1 kilometer north. Understood? let's see this particular question again. So what exactly they are saying over here, that a person X was see, now you can understand, right, that see, the question was so long, okay, but what is the major part of the question? Now the major part of the question is only this much. If you can understand only this part of the question, then you can solve the entire question. So what exactly they were asking in this particular question? Now a person X was driving in a place where all roads ran either north south or east west, forming a grid. Okay, now roads are at a distance of 1 kilometer from each other in a parallel. So that means there are two roads, one going north south direction, another one is going towards east west direction. He started at the intersection of two roads, drove 3 kilometer north, then 3 kilometer west, and again 4 kilometers south. So that means, so this will be my intersection point. At first he went 3 kilometer north, then 3 kilometer west, and again he came back 4 kilometers south. Okay. Next, what they are saying, that which further route could bring him back to his starting point if the same route is not repeated. So now that person wants to come back to the starting point, but not using the same route. So what else can be done? So now the person is at this position. So now he will simply come to this one, because there are parallel roads, right? So this one, and then again towards north direction. So 3 kilometer towards east, and then 1 kilometer towards north. So my final answer will be this option, option B. I hope you are understanding that how, see, now we have solved few questions, right? So 2014 onwards, we have solved till 2016. Have you noticed one thing? That each and every question, the pattern remains the same only. That everywhere they are asking the directions or they are asking the distance, and the question pattern also remains the same. But in the later part of this series, means this, while we will be solving the PYQs, we will see that how slightly the pattern got changed in the recent years. Now let's move on to the next question. So what is this question? What they are asking about in this, what they are saying in this particular question? Let's see. They are saying this particular question came in 2019. That means no question came in 2017 and 2018. Directly after 2016. So we have noticed, right, that 2016 they have asked 3 questions. And again they have asked the question in 2019. So what the question is saying over here, that a person A started from his house and walked 20 meters towards east. Okay, where his friend B joined him. Okay, they together walked 10 meters in the same direction. Okay, then A turned left while B turned right and traveled 2 meters and 8 meters respectively. Then again B turned left to travel 4 meters, followed by 5 meters to his right to reach his office. A turned right and traveled 12 meters to reach his office. What is the shortest distance between the two offices? Now see, there are so many things are given, right? That A went to this direction, B went to that direction. So you might be getting confused. So the easiest way to solve these type of questions is write it down then and there. The first line, just note it down and then slowly go as per the question. Then it will not be much tough to solve. Okay. Let's see what I meant by that, that we need to solve it step by step. See, first of all, what they have said, that A started from his house and walked 20 meters towards east. Okay, fine. Let's solve this. So what exactly they are saying, that a person A walked what? Now walked 20 meters towards east. Okay. So that means this person walked 20 meters towards east. Okay. Next, what they are saying, where his friend B joined him. So that means at this point, he is joined by his friend B. So the person A walked 20 meters towards east, where his friend joined him. Okay, fine. Next, they together walked 10 meters in the same direction. That means they again walked 10 meters towards east direction only. Okay. So that means 10 meters they have walked again. Next, what they are saying, then A turned left while B turned right and traveled 2 meters and 8 meters respectively. That means A, after turning left, traveled 2 meters, and B, while turning right, traveled 8 meters. Let's solve this then. A turned left, that means, and walked for 2 meters. That means this is my left. Okay, 2 meters. B turned right and walked for 8 meters. Fine. Next, what they are saying, again B turned left to travel 4 meters. Okay, so B again in this direction. So left, that means B turned left 4 meters. Okay. Next, followed by 5 meters to his right to reach his office. 5 meters towards its right. Okay. So that means this is my 5 meters and this is B's office. Okay. What happened to A then? A turned right and traveled 12 meters to reach his office. A turned right. So now A is over here A turned right and traveled how much? Traveled 12 meter to reach his office. Okay. So that means this is my A's office and this is 12 meter. Okay. Now what they are asking, what is the shortest distance between the two offices? So what is the shortest distance between the two offices? That means they are asking this distance and this distance. So basically say for example, this is E and this is F. So basically they are asking the distance between E and F. Okay. Now let's draw it in this way. Okay. So though it's a big question only, but it's not that big. Okay. So first of all, what they have said that A started from his house and walked 20 meter towards east. So A started from his house and walked 20 meter. Okay. Then B joined them. Then B joined him. They walked together 10 meter in the same direction. Okay. So over here B came. They 10 meter they walked again. Okay, fine. Then A turned left while B turned right and traveled 2 meter and 8 meter respectively. That means A is going to this direction left and B is going to this direction, which is 8. Next, again B turned left to travel 4 meter followed by 5 meter to his right to reach his office. So that means first of all he turned left. Now this person is going towards south. So that means left means towards east he is going. How much? 4 meter. B turned left to travel 4 meter followed by 5 meter to his right. 4 meter, then again 5 meter. So this is B's office. Say for example, this is E, point E. Now next, what about A? Now A turned right and traveled 12 meter to reach his office. Okay. So A is at this position, traveled 12 meter to reach his office. Say for example, this is F. Now they are asking that what is the distance between E and F. Okay. So let's suppose we'll draw this. We'll make it as a triangle. Okay. So this is 4. This entire thing is 8. Oh, sorry, not 8. The entire thing is 12. Okay. So this entire thing is 12. So if this is 4, that means this part is 8. Okay. Now what will be the distance of this part? This is 5. This is 8 plus 2, 10. That means this entire thing is 15. So let's suppose this is G. Okay. So basically, and this is a right angle triangle. So now we need to find out F, G or EFG, EGF. Okay. So now again same thing, EF square, that is hypotenuse square, is equal to EG square plus GF square. What is EG? EG is 10 plus 5, that means 15 square, plus GF. GF is 8 square. That means 225 plus 64, which is 289. So that means EF will be square root of 289, which is plus minus 17. Now distance cannot be negative, so we will be considering only the positive value of 17, which is 17 meter. So my final answer will be option B. Understood? So basically the question was means, so that's why I am saying, so whenever you will be solving these type of questions, solve it step by step. Then it will be easier to solve the entire question. Okay. I hope you understood this particular question. Now let's move on to the next question. So what exactly they are saying? P, Q and R are 3 towns. Okay. The distance between P and Q is 60 km, whereas the distance between P and R is 80 km. Now Q is in the west of P and R is in the south of P. So what is the distance between Q and R? Okay. So let's solve this one again. So how to solve it? Again, as I mentioned previously, that we will be taking it step by step. So first of all, what they have mentioned over here, that let's consider the direction first. Okay. Then we will be taking the distance as well. So first of all, what they have mentioned, that Q is in the west of P. Okay. So that means Q is in the west of P. Say for example, over here P, over here Q. And what is the distance between P and Q? P and Q distance is 60 km. So that means distance between P and Q is 60 km. Next, what they have said, that R is in the south of P. Okay. R is in the south of P. So that means this is R. What is the distance of this PR? PR is 80 km. So P and R is 80 km. Now what they are asking, what is the distance between Q and R? So again same thing. So basically they are asking the distance between this Q and R. Okay. So same concept. So what we will be doing it, again it's a right angle triangle at P. So that means it's QPR. So same thing, again we will be using the same Pythagoras theorem formula. So what is that? Now it will be QR square is equal to PR square plus PQ square, which is PR. PR is 80 square plus PQ. PQ is 60 square. That means it will be 6400 plus 3600, which is coming to 10,000. Okay. So that means QR square is equal to 10,000. That means QR is equal to root over of 10,000, which is plus minus. So which will come to as which will be plus minus 100. So distance cannot be negative. So we will be considering only the positive value of distance. That means 100. So my final answer is 100. Now this question again came in 2019 only. So that means there were two questions that came in 2019. So my final answer is option D, 100. Understood? So it's a simple question. But the previous question was slightly complex in nature. But this particular question is simple. So though the previous question, whatever we have discussed it over here, if you can solve it step by step, then no issue in solving this entire question. I hope you are getting it that how to solve these particular questions. So once we will be done with the entire logical reasoning PYQs, then you will get an idea that which particular topic you need to focus on, you need to practice more, and what type of questions you need to practice more, so that you can easily score well in the error section. Now let's move on to the next question. See, this particular question came in 2020. So what the question is saying, that a man walks down the backside of his house straight 25 meters. Then turns to the right and walks 50 meters again. Okay. Then he turns towards left and again walks 25 meters. If his house faces to the east, what is his direction from the starting point? So now once you practice more number of questions, you can easily solve this type of questions orally only. So no need to write the questions and solve it on pen and paper, using pen and paper. But for the time being, let's use pen and paper and try to solve this question. So what exactly they are saying over here? Firstly, that, okay, see, the first question is, a man walks down the backside of his house straight 25 meters. Okay. So they are saying that a particular person, a man, is walking backside of his house straight 25 meters. But we don't know that what is the front side, in which direction the house front side is. So based on that only, but if you go through the question entirely, they have clearly mentioned now that the backside, the front side of the house is on towards the east direction. The house faces to the east. So that's what. So here is another learning. Okay. So see, by solving PYQs, you need to learn the things as well. So what is the learning from this question? That don't directly jump into solving the question without reading the full question correctly. See, at the very beginning, they have said that a man walks down the backside of his house straight 25 meters. So you can assume that, okay, let the front side be towards the north direction. So that means the back side will be towards the south direction. But that is not the case over here. They have clearly mentioned it that the house faces to the east. So let's suppose the house is facing towards this direction, east. So which now when the means in which direction the man is going? The man walks down the backside of his house straight 25 meters. So if the face of the house is towards east, so backside of the house means what? The backside of the house will be towards west direction. Say for example, this is A and this is B. Next, what they have said, then turns to the right and walks 50 meters again. So turns towards right, that means towards north direction, and walks for 50 meters. Next, then he turns towards left and again walks 25 meters. That means again he is moving towards west direction and walks for 25 meters. Say for example, this is point C. What is the question? If his house faces to the east, what is his direction from the starting point? So what is his direction from the starting point? See, now he is at this direction. Now he is at this particular point and he was at this particular point at the initial. What is his direction from the starting point? So what direction is he now? See, this is my north. Then this one will be what? No, northwest, because this is my west direction. So my answer will be northwest. See how much simple the question is. You just need to understand the language, how they have asked the question, how they have framed the question. That's it. So this particular question came in 2020. I hope you understood this particular question as well. Now let's move on to the next question. So what is the next question? Okay, see, this particular question came in 2021. So what the question is saying that a woman runs 12 kilometers towards her north, then 6 kilometers towards her south, and then 8 kilometers towards her east. In which direction is she from her starting point? Okay, in which direction is she from her starting point? Okay, so it's simple only. They have given everything, but now they are asking to find out the direction. Okay, so first of all, what they have said that a woman runs 12 kilometers towards the north. Okay, so let's suppose the initial point of the or initial position of the woman is in this point. Okay, now she is moving 12 kilometers towards north. So this is 12. Next, what they have said that then 6 kilometers towards her south. Okay, now again she is coming back 6 kilometers towards her south. Say for example, this was point B. Now again she is coming back 6 kilometers. Say for example, this is my 6 kilometers, which is point C. This is 6. Okay. Now what they are saying next, and then 8 kilometers towards her east. Okay. So from this particular position, she is moving 8 kilometers. Say for example, this is point D. Now what is the question? In which direction is she from her starting point? Okay. So in which direction is she from her starting point? That means this particular thing they are asking. So initially she was at this position and now she is at this particular position. So what direction she is in? Okay. So it's simple. Now see how to solve this. Say for example, this entire thing is 12 kilometers, right? So that means this is 6 kilometers, this part is 6 kilometers, and this they have already mentioned it as 8 kilometers. So if we remember trigonometry, in class 9 and 10 we did trigonometry, right? So if we remember trigonometry, so basically they are asking, because in the question they are asking that if you see goes through the options, see the distance you can easily mention, the direction you can easily say. See, now the direction will be this, this was her starting point and now she is at this position. So what is her direction now? So this means it is northeast. This is north and this is northeast. So her point means her direction is northeast direction. So that means this option we can ignore because south of east. This option also we can ignore because again south of east. Now out of these two options, which option we can consider? Because what is the difference between these two options? First option is saying that an angle less than 45 degree north of east. That means this particular theta. So theta value they are saying that this theta is less than 45 degree. Or what is the other option? That an angle more than 45 degree north of east. So these are out of these two options, any one option the correct answer can be. Now but how to find out the direction or how to find out the degree? Let's see. So as I was saying that in class 9 and 10 we used to do trigonometry, right? We have learned about trigonometry. So see, this is 90 degree. So we know that tan theta is equal to perpendicular by base. Okay. So then theta, what is perpendicular over here? Perpendicular, that means this is the height. So if this is 6 meters, then what will be this direction or distance? What will be the distance of this CO? The entire thing is 12. Out of this 12, this part is 6. Then what will be this part? Obviously, it will be 12 minus 6, which is 6. So that means perpendicular is 6 by base. What is the distance of the base? Which is CD. CD is 8. So that means 8. So 3 by 4. So 3 by 4 is coming approximately 0.75. Okay. Now, tan theta is equal to 0.75. But we need to find out the value of theta. Not the exact value, but only what they are asking, that whether the value of theta will be less than 45 degree or it will be more than 45 degree. That is the only thing they are asking for. But how to find it out? Now we know that tan 45 degree, value of tan 45 degree is 1. What is the value of this? 0.75, which is less than 1. So that means the value of theta will be obviously less than 45 degree because tan 45 degree is equal to 1. So but over here we are having 0.75, which is the value which is less than 1. So that means the value of theta will be less than 45 degree. So my correct answer will be option B, which is this one, that an angle less than 45 degree north of east. Understood? Let's solve it again. Okay, because this is a, but I mean, this is, now you have understood, right? See, when we were solving the questions from 2014 till 2016, there was no question where they have asked for the degree, that exactly at how much degree that particular person is or whatever it is. They have not asked for the degrees, that the angles. But now in 2021 paper, they have asked for the angles as well. So this is the pattern change, or this is, but I mean, see, the question pattern remains the same only a slight twist in the question. Previously, they were not asking for the angles and all, but from 2021, in 2021 paper, they have asked for the degrees or for the angles as well. Now, let's understand this question once again. So, basically, what they were saying is that a woman runs 12 kilometers towards her north. Okay. So, it's simple. Towards her north. So, let's suppose this is A, this is B, and this is 12. What else they are saying? That then 6 kilometers towards her south. Okay. So now that same person is again coming back to south direction. That means to this direction, which is point C, and this direction, and this distance is 6 kilometers. What else they are saying? And then 8 kilometers towards her east. So now again that same person, that same woman went 8 kilometers towards her east. Say for example, this is point D. Now what is the question they are asking for? In which direction is she from her starting point? So basically they are asking for the direction. Now direction we can easily say, right, that see, this is my north direction. So now that person is over here. This was my starting point. So we can simply say that the northeast, the person currently is in northeast direction from his starting position. So we can easily ignore this particular option because it is mentioned as south of east, which is wrong. This particular option we can easily ignore because it is south of east they have mentioned. But now we are stuck in these two options, that is north of east and north of east. But what is the difference between these two options? One, only the difference is an angle less than 45 degree, and in the other option they have mentioned an angle more than 45 degree. So what is this? What exactly they are asking for? They are saying, so this is the angle, right? Let's suppose this is theta. So this theta angle, what will be the value of this theta? Whether it will be less than 45 degree or it will be more than 45 degree. That is the only thing that they are asking for. Now how to find out? We have understood or we have read about the concept of tan theta. So what is the formula for tan theta? Tan theta is equal to perpendicular by base. So in this case, what is the perpendicular over here? Perpendicular is this particular distance. The entire thing is 12. Out of this, this is 6. Then what will be this? This will also be 6 only. So that means perpendicular is 6. Base. What is base? Now base is this direction. That means which is 8. So if I cancel this, so that means tan theta is coming as 3 by 4. But they are not asking for tan theta because they are asking for this degree. What will be the value? Not exact value they are asking for, but they are asking that whether that value will be less than 45 degree or it will be more than 45 degree. So now, but how to find it out? See, one thing we know that the value of tan 45 degree we are aware of. That tan 45 degree is equal to 1. Okay. But what is the value of this? Now 3 by 4, we can write it as 0.75. Correct? 3 by 4, we can write it as 0.75. Okay. But tan 45 degree is equal to 1. Correct? That means value of 45 degree is equal to 1. Over here, the value of what is the value given over here? It is 0.75, which is now 0.75 is obviously less than 1. That means this theta value will be less than 45 degree. Because if it was more than 45 degree, then this value would have been greater than 1. But what we are seeing over here, the value is less than 1. So that is why this value of theta will always be less than 45 degree. From here, we can come to the conclusion that the angle less than 45 degree is the correct option. I hope you understood this particular thing. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next questions. So, this particular question again came in 2021. So, what this question is saying that a bank employee drives 10 kilometers towards south from her house and turns to her left and drives another 20 kilometers. She again turns left and drives 40 kilometers. Then she turns to her right and drives for another 5 kilometers. She again turns to her right and drives another 30 kilometers to reach her bank, where she works. what is the shortest distance between her bank and her house? Okay. So basically they are asking for the distance between her office, that is her bank, and her house. But again, I will repeat the same thing. See, the question is lengthy, right? We have multiple data given over here. So it might be somewhat confusing. But we will not get confused. Why? Because we will be solving it step by step. So in that case, first of all, what they have said. So they are saying that a bank employee drives 10 kilometers towards south from her house. Let's suppose her house is over here. Now 10 kilometers towards south. So say for example, this is point O and this is point B. Next, what they are saying, and turns to her left and drives another 20 kilometers. Turns to her left, that means towards east direction. Drives 20 kilometers. Say for example, this is point B. Next, what they are saying, she again turns left and drives 40 kilometers. So she again turns left and drives for 40 kilometers. Say for example, this is point C. What they are saying, then she turns to her right and drives for another 5 kilometers. So she turns to her right 5 kilometers. Say for this is point D. Next, what they are saying, and drives another 30 kilometers to reach her bank. She again turns to her right and drives another 30 kilometers. She again turns to her right and reaches her bank over here, which is point D. This is 30. Now what they are saying, what is the shortest distance between her bank and her house? Okay, fine. So basically what they are asking is, they are asking for this particular distance, which is OE. Now this OE will be in the straight line only. So now what will be the shortest distance over here? Not 25 kilometers, because see, this, let's suppose this point is G. What will be OG? Now AB is 20 kilometers. So in that case, OG will be what? 90 is parallel line. So this will also be 20. What is the distance between GE? Now CD is 5 kilometers. So that means this will also be 5. So ultimately OE will be what? Now 20 plus 5, which is 25 kilometers, which means my option B. Understood? See, the question was so long, okay, but if you do it step by step, it becomes simple. So I hope you understood this one. So this one also came in 2021. So you saw, right, that in 2021, 2 questions came, slightly different than the previous years. Now let's move on to the next question. This question came in 2022. So what question, or what is the question that has been asked over here? Question is that 2 friends, X and Y, start running and they run together for 50 meters in the same direction and reach a point. Okay. X turns right and runs 60 meters, while Y turns left and runs 40 meters. Then X turns left and runs 50 meters and stops, while Y turns far right and runs 50 meters and then stops. How far are the 2 friends from each other now? Okay. So what exactly they are saying over here? That, see, now the questions are slightly lengthier. Okay. So in the recent papers, we could see that the questions are slightly lengthier in nature. So what exactly they are saying over here? Now 2 friends X and Y start running and they run together for 50 meters in the same direction and reach a point. Okay. X turns right and Y and runs for 60 meters, while Y turns left and runs for 40 meters. Then X turns left and runs for 50 meters and stops, while Y turns right and runs for 50 meters and then stops. So how far are the 2 friends from each other now? So they have not mentioned that initially they ran in which direction, correct? Because they only said that 2 friends X and Y start running and they run together for 50 meters in the same direction and reach a point. So if nothing is given, let's assume that they ran towards north direction only. Okay. Then X turns right and runs for 60 meters. X turns right and runs for 60 meters. So this is X. Okay. What else? Y turns left and runs for 40 meters. Y turns left and runs for 40 meters. So this is Y. Next. Then X turns left and runs for 50 meters and stops. X again turns left, runs for 50 meters and stopped at this particular point, which is D. What about Y? While Y turns right and runs for 50 meters and then stops. Okay. Y turns right and 50 meters and then stops. Say for example, this is point D. Okay. Now, how far are the 2 friends from each other now? So how far are the 2 friends from each other now? So basically X is over here and Y is over here. Both cover 50 meters from this direction. So that means they are asking for this particular distance. What is the distance? Now see, this till this point, it is 40. This is 60. So that means the total distance is 40 plus 60, which is 100. Okay. So the total distance is 100 meters. That's it. Simple. So it was a simple question, easy question only. See, why now you may ask that why I have, see, at the initially, they did not mention about that two friends, X and Y start running and they run together for 50 meters in the same direction and reach a point. They did not mention anything about that which direction they ran for. Okay. So if nothing is given, we can assume just for our simplicity, we can assume that both of them ran in the same direction, which is towards north direction. That's it and nothing else. So this was a easy question that came in 2022. Now let's move on to the next question. So what this question is saying over here, now this question came in 2024. That means 2023 also no question came. Now see what they are saying over here, that a person walks 100 meters straight from his house, turns left and walks 100 meters, again turns left and walks 300 meters, then turns right and walks 100 meters to reach his office. In which direction does he walk initially from his house if his office is exactly in the northeast direction? See, this is our opposite. Okay, that means initially, previously, what we have observed is that they were giving the directions that from his home they are going to this direction, they are going to that direction, and ultimately they are reaching their office. And finally, they were asking us to find out the direction between his office and home. That was the question that came previously. But now you see the question that came in 2024. It's the opposite one. Now they have said that their office and the home direction is northeast. Okay, that means the direction between to the direction of his office from his home is northeast direction. Now you need to find out, or now we need to find out that initially he walked for which direction. Okay, so now you observe, right, that how the question got changed recently. Same question only, but they only changed the pattern, slightly tweaked the question. That's it. But anyways, we will solve this as well. So what exactly they have asked for over here, that a person walks 100 meters south, 100 meters straight from his house, then turns left and walks 100 meters, again turns right, left and walks 300 meters. Okay. How we will be solving it over here? We will be solving it opposite direction. That means what they have said, that in which direction does he walk initially from his house if his office is exactly in the northeast direction. Let's imagine this is his home. Okay. Northeast direction. Say for example, this is where his office is. Okay. What they have said, now we will be going back. Then turns right and walks 100 meters to reach his office. That means he was turns right and reach his office. Okay. 100 meters. That means he turned right and reached his office. Now while returning to office, he need to turn left, right. Because while going to office, he turned right. But while returning to office, now he need to turn left for 100 meters. How much? Okay. And then what? And then we will be doing it opposite over here. Now how to do that? Let's see. A person walks 100 meters straight from his house, turns left and walks 100 meters, again turns left and walks 300 meters, then turns right and walks 100 meters to reach his office. So that means that person, while returning from office, he will turn left and walks for 100 meters. Okay. Next is again turns left and walks 300 meters. That means then he turned right and walks for 300 meters. Again he turned right and walks for 100 meters. Then he came to that particular point where he stood. Okay. Now let's see how to solve this particular question. So let's read the question again. So basically what the question was saying, that a person walks 100 meters straight from his house. Now we have seen in our previous question, right, that see, this was our previous question. What they have said in the previous question, that two friends X and Y start running and they run together for 50 meters in the same direction and reach a point. So in this particular question also, what we did initially, they have not mentioned, right, that in which direction this X and Y is running for. So what we did, we have assumed that they were running towards north direction. So similarly over here also, we will be assuming that initially the person was moving towards north direction while going towards his office. Okay. So what they have said initially, that a person walks 100 meters straight from his house. So let's assume that the person went 100 meters straight towards north direction. Okay. Let's say this is point A. Next, what they say, turns left and walks 100 meter. Turns left and walks for 100 meter. Okay. Next, what they're saying, again turns left and walks for 300 meter. Again turned left and walks for 300 meter. So this is 300 meter. Next, what they are saying, then turns right and walks for 100 meter. Turns right, that means towards south. Now the person is turns right means this direction, 100 meter to reach his office. So now, if we consider the direction between his, consider the direction from his home towards his office, what is the direction that is coming? Now it is coming southwest. So this is south and this direction, this is west. So that means this is west, this is south. So that means this is southwest, correct? But in the question, what they have said that his house means the direction from the direction of his office from his house is towards northeast direction. Now northeast means what? Somewhere this direction. Somewhere at this point the office is from his house. Now what is this point? This point is exactly opposite of whatever we have got. So we got southwest, correct? But the opposite of that is northwest, northeast. According to the question, his office is located towards northeast direction from his house. So that means whatever the answer that we got is exactly opposite of whatever they have given. That means whatever direction that we have assumed for initially, what direction we have assumed? We have assumed for north direction. That means originally the person was going towards south direction for 100 meter because we have assumed north direction, but as per the answer, opposite direction is coming. So that's why originally the person was going towards south direction. It's a little confusing, right? So let's understand or let's solve it again. So this particular question came in 2024. So what exactly the question was saying? That a person, so whenever the direction is not given initially, we can consider the direction to be towards north direction just for the simplicity of our calculation, and later we can convert it as per the question. See, what exactly the question was asking for, that a person walks 100 meters straight from his house. We'll go one by one. A person walks 100 meters straight from his house. Okay. So let's suppose the person went 100 meters towards north direction. Let's assuming that the person's house was here and he went 100 meters towards north direction. Then what he says, turns left and walks for 100 meters. Turns left and walks for 100 meters. Okay. Then what he is saying, again turns left and walks for 300 meters. So again turns left and walks for 300 meters. So that means this direction. So now the person is over here. Next, what they are saying, then turns right and walks for 100 meters to reach his office. Walks for 100 meters after turning right. That means as per our assumption, office should be southwest direction. Why? Because see, this is my south direction, right? And this is my west direction. So that means what will be this direction? This direction will be southwest direction, correct? But as per the question, the direction should come to as northeast direction, which is somewhere over here. So that means, now what is this direction? This part is exactly opposite of this part, correct? So this part is exactly opposite of this part. Our answer came this, southwest. Why? Because we assumed that the person initially went towards north direction. Okay. Now, but the actual in the question they have given that the person went towards northeast direction, which is opposite to our answer. So that means our assumption should also be opposite to what we have assumed for. So we have assumed for north direction. So our assumption should also be opposite. So ultimately it will be south direction. I hope you understood this particular question as well, that how to solve it when no directions are given. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. So see, 2024, 2024, 2 questions came. This one and again this particular question. Okay. 2024 only. Now see, what exactly, now see the pattern changed right over here also, because they have given some degrees over here. Let's see the question first. A person walks 100 meters westward, then turns left and walks 100 meters. He then takes 225-degree turn clockwise. In which direction is he walking now? Okay, simple. Let's solve this particular question. So what is the difference between the previous question and this particular question? Because over here they have given some degrees, some angles they have mentioned. Okay. So let's solve this question. So first of all, what they have mentioned, that a person walks 100 meter westward. So let's solve it. 100 meter westward. So that means, let's suppose initially the person is at this position. Now he is at this position. Distance is 100 meter. Next, what they are saying, then turns left and walks again for 100 meter. So turns left and walks again for 100 meter. Next, what they are saying, he then takes 225-degree turn clockwise. Clockwise direction. Clockwise direction means according to the clock's nature. So how the clock will rotate? Clockwise direction means towards this direction. Okay, because they have mentioned it as clockwise direction. Correct? If it was anti-clockwise, then it would have been opposite. So what exactly they meant is that he then takes 225-degree turn clockwise. 225-degree turn clockwise means now he is at this position. Now he will go to this direction. Correct? Now this is my 180 degree, right? Because this is 100, this is 100. So that means this particular point is 180 degree. Now, but he is going to 25 degree. That means again 45 degrees from here. Okay. Okay. Now see. Initially this person was over. Finally this person is over here. Now he is going to 225 degree. Okay. That means towards this direction. This is 180 degree. Again 45 degree. That means this direction. Okay. So what the question is saying, in which direction is he walking now? So in which direction is he walking now? He is at this position now. So now he is walking towards northeast direction. So it's simple, right? Because what they have said over here initially, that a person walks 100 meter westward. Okay. So that means initially that person went to this direction. Then what? Then turns left and walks for 100 meter. Then again he turns left and walks for 100 meter. And then what? He then takes 225-degree turn clockwise. 225-degree turn clockwise means he went to this particular direction. So this will be somewhere 180 degree and this is 50 degree. That is 45 degree. 180 plus 45, 225 degree. So now currently he is somewhere northeast direction. So that means my answer will be option D. Understood? So this is how you see, whenever the angle or degrees were given, then the question will not be tough. Now let's move on to the last question from this particular topic, distance and direction, which came in the year 2025. Let's see the questions. Only one question came in 2025 from this particular topic. So, what is the question? Now, there are 7 places A, B, C, D, E, F and G in a city connected by various roads A, B, A, C, C, D, D, E, B, F, E, G and F, G. Okay. A is 6 kilometers south of B. A is 10 kilometers west of C. D is 5 kilometers east of E. C is 6 kilometers north of D. F is 9 kilometers west of B. F is 12 kilometers north of G. Now the question is, a person travels from D to F through these roads. What is the distance covered by the person? Okay, that means the person went from D to F. Okay, the question seems lengthier, right? But as I mentioned previously, we will be solving it step by step. So step by step, we will be going to solve. Okay. So firstly, what they have given that, okay, we will be dealing with the each and every part of the question. First, they have mentioned that A is 6 kilometers south of B. So let's suppose this is B, this is A, which is 6 kilometers. Okay. A is 6 kilometers south of B. Then A is 10 kilometers west of C. 10 kilometers west of C. Next is D is 5 kilometers east of E. Okay. We can ignore this point as of now. What they are saying that C is 6 kilometers north of D. C is 6 kilometers north of D. Now we will come back to this question. D is 5 kilometers east of E. D is 5 kilometers east of E. This is 5. Next, what they are saying? F is 9 kilometers west of B. F is 9 kilometers west of B. Okay. F is 9 kilometers west of B. So this is F. This is 9. What else they are saying? F is 12 kilometers north of G. F is 12 kilometers north of G. So that means this is G. F is 12 kilometers north of G. Next, what they are saying? A person travels from D to F through these roads. Okay. These are multiple roads are there. A, B, A, C, C, D, D, E, B, F, E, G and F, G. So what are the roads? AB. Okay. Next, AC, CD, DE. AC, CE. AC, CD, DE. Okay. AC, CD, AC, CD and DE. AC, CD, DE. Next is BF, EG and FG. BF, EG, FG. So now what the question is saying, that the person traveled from D to F. Okay. That means the person traveled from here till here. Okay. What they are saying now, what is the distance covered by the person? Okay. So that means the person first went from D to C, which is 6, then C to A, which is 10, then A to B, 6, then again B to F, which is 9. That means 6 plus 10. That means the person went D to F. From here till here he went. Okay. First of all, he went, okay, CD. CD is there. There is a road. That means 6. AC. AC is there. This one also is fine. Then AB. AB is again 6 plus. Then BF. BF is there. 9. That means this road, this road, this road and this road, which is coming to 12, 22, 31. 31 kilometer. So this is my answer. So this is very simple question, but if you solve it step by step. But if you just go through the entire question and try to solve it entirely, it will be a bit tricky for this. Okay. So with this, we have completed all the previous year questions from this particular topic, distance and direction. Again, so once you have solved, means once we have solved it, what we observed, that every year, almost every year, one question is coming from this particular topic, which we can score easily, which we can score 2.5 marks easily from this topic. So with this, we conclude with this particular chapter, and tomorrow we will be again starting a new chapter. We will be doing in all the chapters. We will be covering all the PYQs from all the topics. Similar to how we did for this particular topic, we will be doing for the other topics as well. So till then, study hard. Thank you.